Hey there, Bryan VantHof here with Remax Advantage Plus and Ramsey Trusted. Hope you're having a great start to your week. Back again for another week of real estate stats, trends, what's going on in the Twin Cities real estate market, how busy it is, how slow it is, buyer's market, seller's market, balanced market. A lot of things to kind of get into here today. With the weather that we had here over the past week, we did see a pretty substantial slowdown in the number of showings just due to the blizzard, due to unsafe travel. So just a lot of things did slow down just a little bit here just over this past weekend. But I am predicting that we are done with the snow. I don't think we're going to have any more major snowstorms. And I guess that's not a hard prediction to make, considering tomorrow is the first day of spring and the weather is looking pretty solid. And hopefully we'll see some green grass and blooming trees here pretty soon. So we can all kind of come out of our hibernation shells here. So looking at activity for this week for the previously owned homes within that 50-mile radius of downtown Minneapolis in Minnesota, we saw 896 new listings hit the market. That's down 93 from the prior week, and really a lot of that is weather related, and down 38 from the same time last year. 608 of the new listings were single-family homes. That is down 65. 193 townhomes, down 5. 95 condos, down 23. And even with our slower activity and terrible weather, nearly 25% of all new listings did sell in the first week, which is a slightly higher percentage than where we were this time last week. There's 360 coming soon listings out there. That's up 18 from last week and down 21 from last year. Total available inventory sits at 4,256, which is up 62 from last week and up 792 from the same time last year. Refining our available inventory further, there are 2,386 single-family homes on the market. That's up 30 with a median listing price of $485,000. That's up $5,000, and days on the market of 36, which is down 3. Townhomes are 953 of our available homes. That's up 17 at a median listing price of $310,000. That's up $3,000 from last week, and days on the market of 36, which is down 2. Condos are 917 of our inventories, up 15 with median listing price of $195,000, which is up $5,000, and days on the market of 104, which is actually down 7. So condos did sell a little bit better here over the past week. 832 homes went from active to pending. 567 went from pending to close, up 55. 3,038 pending listings is up 260, so that's a good number, showing kind of that increased level of sales. 1,303 homes are active but have an offer accepted on them of some sort. That's down 24 from last week. And there are 547 temporarily not available homes out there right now. That's down 5. Mortgage rates remain relatively unchanged from last week, with a good mortgage broker being between 6 and 6.25% on a fixed 30-year conventional mortgage. That's up a quarter from where we were about a month ago, up an eighth from 3 and 6 months ago, down 1/8 from 9 months ago, and unchanged from 1 year ago. The winter weather we had, as I mentioned, certainly did slow down our showings. We had 12,925 realtor scheduled showings in the past week. That was down over 2,900 showing requests compared to the week before, and 3,280 fewer requests than the same week last year. Showings per listing this week dropped from 4.01 to 3.57. Last year, we had 4.43 showings per listing. Now let's touch a little bit on some February statistics and some year-to-date stuff. These are stats provided by the St. Paul Area Association of Realtors and does include new construction. In February, I'm talking mostly about the 13-county metro area. In February, we saw 4,503 new listings in that area. That was up 0.6% from last February. Closed sales were actually down over 9% in February compared to last year at 2,172. As a reminder, February closings are reflective of offers written in the month of January for the most part. January generally starts slow. The first 2 weeks of January, a slow time in the real estate market. And when we had bad weather at the end of January this year, that kind of kept things relatively slow as well. So that's part of the reason why February closing numbers were lower than last year. It's just a combination of timing and weather. Median sale price in February was down just under 1% from last February. So the closed sales this February compared to last February The median sales price was down just under 1%. But flip side on that is the price per square foot was actually a little bit higher this February. For the month of February this year, sellers generally received about 97.4% of their original listing price. As we look forward to spring here, starting Friday, the buyer's market that we had in effect in December and January and early February, that's changing. Now we are changing into a seller's market. Just this week, I sold 2 listings that lasted about 2 weeks or more on the market. So it's listings that were on the market for a little over 2 weeks. A condo that I had listed over 35 days ended up in multiple offers yesterday. A townhouse I had listed that was nicely prepared for the market. Some nice improvements made, some fixes made. We ended up with a great offer. It had been on the market for just under 2 weeks. So if you're looking for a realtor who knows how to market your home, get it sold, considering that the median days on market for townhomes right now is 36 to sell a townhouse in less than 14 days, that's pretty good. Condos, they've averaged well over 3 months on market time, and I was able to sell a condo, nicely updated condo, within 35 days here on the market. So typically been able to beat the time on the market for other types of properties. On the past 12 months, I've helped my clients list 29 single-family homes, townhomes, and condos, and the median time on the market for those was just 17 days. So breaking it down further, single-family homes that I've listed have sold in a median of 11 days, and townhomes in a median of 20 days. So time is not your friend when it comes to listing a home for sale. Generally, your best offers do come within 14 days on the market. Finally, today, housing affordability has hit levels in the Twin Cities that we haven't seen in almost 3 years. Twin City area household income increases combined with lower interest rates and a slowing pace of home price increases have put buyers and sellers in a good position. Median home prices have gone up about 2.6% over the past 12 months. That's just slightly above the 2.4% rate of inflation in the United States. So a consistent number. Sellers who are looking to transition into something else are in a good spot right now with more inventory and interest rates that are more palatable than what we've seen over the past years, and pricing that's kind of stayed relatively, hasn't gone down necessarily in Twin Cities, but certainly has not skyrocketed 10% per year. So it is overall, this is just a better market for everyone, sellers and buyers. And it's a good time to be a buyer. It's a good time to be a seller. As a reminder, owning a home is a long-term play. This is something that you want to do for your lifetime. You want to own a home for as long as you need a place to live. That's my opinion. Especially with more people relying on the equity in their homes for retirement funds. People aren't saving as much. And I've seen a lot of articles lately where it says seniors are relying on the equity in their home to supplement their income in retirement. So if you're a renter and you didn't have that equity, that's not good, I guess, is the best way to say it. So when I look at that, I think if you're financially prepared to get into a home, getting in a home sooner will give you more equity to work with in the long term when the time comes that you need to tap into it. As an example, you've seen stats about investing when you start at age 25 compared to age 35, how much of a difference that makes in retirement. Really the same thing when you're looking at housing. It's just like investing. The sooner you buy a home, the longer you have to accumulate equity in your home, use that equity to leverage up into a more expensive home at some point, and even gain even more equity over time. Even if you ever own just one home over the next 30 years at today's mortgage rates, if you bought the median priced home at around $400,000 and it appreciated just 3% per year, you'd have nearly $1 million in equity at the end of that 30 years of owning that home and just making the minimum payments on that mortgage. Additionally, in today's rental and interest rate environment, buying is generally less expensive monthly than renting if you are going to stay in that home for 3 years or more. So if you're planning on being at a place for 3 years or more, probably should consider buying as opposed to being a renter. So that's all I have for the week. Please reach out to discuss your goals. I'd love to help you as a buyer, you as a seller. I help buyers and sellers across all demographics and price ranges. I know the market here, and I'm here to serve you. So I hope you have a great rest of your week, and I look forward to hearing from you soon. Thank you.